Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to Wizdom Dropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. My name is Tanya, and today we are discussing the Lion's Gate portal aspect. I totally told you, confession, in the last video that we would talk about it then, and guess what? We didn't. And as soon as I ended the video, I remembered. So here we are for another day. Woo, woo. Be sure to like this video if it brings you any value whatsoever. If you're new here and vibe with my content, subscribe. I do put up a video every single day of the week. On the rare occasion I miss, I go ahead and put up 2 a day because we is just cray like that here on the Wizdom Dropz Astrology Love Beam. Gotta ride the love beam. Let's hear it for improv. Last but not least, after you like this video and subscribe, if you are in resonance with my content and you are ready to step into your astrological power and be able to read birth charts once and for all, for yourself, for everybody you know, for your brother, your mother, your sister, okay? Link to enroll yourself down below in a 6-month comprehensive education program with live interactive coaching every single day of the week and ongoing communication throughout the week, recordings and treasure hunts and so much more. Only 3 more days to enroll. Did I mention that? Link down below. So this Lion's Gate doohickey, let me tell you something. This whole, oh my God, it's a Lion's Gate. I think that's a really new age thing. And here's the reason why. Leo is definitely the lion, but let me just tell you the significance of what this is. Let's start there. So the significance, right? What does this mean? Leo new moon. Okay, so the sun rules Leo. Y'all already know this. If you've seen the last 2 videos I posted, we went so far in on this topic. Y'all check them out. Now, Leo is the sign that it corresponds with the sun. The sun rules it. The new moon at any given time is when the moon and the sun line up from the perspective of Earth, right? Right. So Leo new moon is one of the factors for this whole Lion's Gate thing. Another factor, okay, is that Sirius is becoming visible again. Whoa, boom, boom, boom. That's a big deal. Why is that a big deal? Because when Sirius becomes visible, boom, 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 I don't do that a lot, but sometimes, let's be real, I do. It means that the Nile floods, in ancient world, like ancient times of Egypt, whenever Sirius would rise, it was corresponding with Isis's tears that she would grieve, okay? She would grieve, and she would grieve in this way that flooded the Nile, that brought the floods, that brought the nutrients to the water, you know what I'm saying, in order for the crops to grow. And if you look through ancient times and ancient cycles, whenever waters are associated with anything, it's always life, you know what I'm saying? And it could also be the destruction of life through floods. So water is life, and very much so the control, if you want to look at it that way, of life. Life is contingent on water. You feel water is life. So with that said, the Nile flooding was a big deal. And with that said, check it out. Sirius, do you know about Sirius? Sirius is actually around 13-14 degrees of Cancer in what we acknowledge as Cancer in our tropical system of astrology, okay? So 13-14 degrees tropical Cancer in astrology is where Sirius, the fixed star, is. Sirius is hella bright, like so bright. And it's also smaller than our sun, but brighter than our sun. I'm pretty sure it's considered a white dwarf. I could be mistaken, need to fact check, but pretty sure that's what that is. The other thing that's really groovy about Sirius is that it's in a binary star system with our sun. So our sun and Sirius, they revolve around each other in some type of way. They have like this really interesting dynamic where they're kind of mirroring each other. And that, my friends, is super fascinating from like what we know of how particles work. If you've gotten into any of that stuff, it's fascinating. So I'll leave that there because we ain't doing that in this video. This video is about astrology. So in this idea of Sirius being a binary star, it's also where the greatest luminaries come from in our entire world. It's where high vibe, benevolent, ascended masters of all forms have come from. I'm sure Thoth came from there, Christ, and all of the women who have gone so unsung. So let's just name some goddesses that are totally Syrian in nature. Sarasvati, anyone? Hello. Sarasvati is the most like Syrian associated being being in all of what I know of goddessry. And I know an okay amount. I'm no like absolute expert on all that, but Sarasvati is the epitome of what Sirius star beings are said to embody, which is wisdom, higher knowledge, refined abilities, refined sense of self, and yes, humor and wit and intelligence, and they can be crass, but in this elegant sort of way. It's almost like the elves of Lord of the Rings. It's like the high class Gryffindor. I don't know. Like, there's so many ways I could classify, right, for all the nerds out there. And with that said, though, like Sirius is this higher benevolence. It's the ultimate good guys, good gals, good heroes. It's the ultimate forces that be of good in the little little yeah, the little in that kind of world. They're considered to be the OGs, the high ones, the ones at the top, so to speak, the ultimate good ones. So Sirius is a hardcore energy, y'all. And when you think of how it corresponded in ancient Egypt, as already mentioned, with Isis, Isis is no small goddess. Isis, hello, and the flooding of the Nile. Could we, like, in any way understate the significance of that? Or, I mean, overstate? Answer no. Like, that's so important. And Isis, being associated with life force and this past life thing and this idea of eternality and this idea, is that a word? It is now. The idea of being so eternal in nature, that idea of being so like consistent in life, even through phases of it, including death. Like Isis was the whole bag, the whole kit and caboodle. She's the whole rodeo and the show too, like that sort of thing. So with that said, you got to keep in mind Sirius's rising in visibility. It's important for your spiritual awareness. It's important for our consciousness, because when Sirius rises, so does our consciousness. Sirius is the ultimate apex of the good guys, right? Good gals, the heroes, okay? The ascended masters, okay? Now, when that becomes visible, how could it not beneficially impact our consciousness? Yo, it does. So it's a good auspicious omen. You understand? You feel? Now, with that said, we got the Sirius becoming visible again, rising. We got the Leo new moon, which is the sign of the sun, a new beginning, and the sign of Ra in ancient Egyptian lore and mythology, right? Ra being the sun god, of course. So there's a new moon in the sign of the sun god at the time that the star of Isis rises and floods the Nile. Yo, how could it not be auspicious? How could it not be? Now, they also say this 8 thing got thrown into the game. To be frank, that's a new thing to my wheelhouse of knowledge. I'm just picking up on it. I know the numerology of 8 has to do with infinity. It's very much so connected with the 8th house in astrology of abundance, okay? And in astrology, the 8th house is about other people's resources. And I don't, number 8 is infinity. I'm not like a numerological expert as much as an astrologer, right? But with that said, it does rule. Number 8 is this idea of prosperity across the gamut. You know what I'm saying? So, and even when you look at the symbol, it's eternity. It's just on its side. Eternity is the number 8. So it has this continuity to it. It has this fluidity to it. And we can see that this correspondence between Isis, as I just spoke of, the fluidity of life through its various stages, including death, yes, and the flooding of the river, the Nile, yes. Number 8 is very much so connected with that same fluidity and eternal nature that we just discussed. So there is a number 8 association to what is known as this Lionsgate thing. As I say, the association of it as a Lionsgate, I'm fairly certain, is a fairly new thing. This isn't something, it's a new age thing. It doesn't mean it's not valuable. It doesn't mean it's not viable. It just means it's not original per se. The original meaning, I think you found a lot of today. I think we might infer more of what the ancients might have imposed upon this in terms of its significance based on what we talked about today, rather than focusing on this idea of it's a Lionsgate. However, I understand the visualization and the potency of that, and I'm with it, because why not, baby? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? I'm with it. It's a lion, it's a roaring, it's a portal. I'm with it. It's with it. Like this video brought you any value, Wizdom Dropz Astrology School is only rolling for 3 more days. Holy guacamole. Link to enroll thyself down below. It's going to be amazing. We're already off like a rocket, baby. I'm going to coach you up, get you up to speed and up to par and knowing all your astrology and just being out here like bam, bam, bam. I can read it. What astrology chart? What All right. That said, thanks for the support. Through next time, until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.